Hey, Mr. Clash here, and today we're going to have a look at a few Queen Walk, Bova Walk thing. We'll call it the Dual Walk, okay? Dual Walk, Dual Walk Bova. Queen Walk, Bowler Walk with Valkyries. This is the troop combination, and I did swap out the Baby Dragon for some of them. So just have a look at the troops and the spells, and I'll talk about the funneling as we go. So go have a look at the first one. Okay, now this is the first base. We're going to hit this one twice, so I'll just go through these because we've got a lot to get through at the moment. Now, my biggest decision was how I was going to come into the Queen and deal with the Queen, and I'd thought of possibly coming in from the bottom, but then I thought, you know what, I'll come in with the Valkyries and the Bowlers from the top side. So my Queen on the right hand side, if she comes in, great. If she goes down the right hand side, that's not going to be a problem either. So I've got the Baby Dragon to try and funnel. Now from this point on, I don't want the Bowlers going south, so that's why I put the Baby Dragon down there. Now I'm trying to get the Bowlers to possibly come into the Queen with the Valkyries. Now I'm not really raging. I don't really want to rage the Valkyries until they crack that first wall, but in this case the Queen's there. I've got to get it raged. I've got to get them in. So the Bowlers are going to slowly path in. Now the Valkyries are coming over to the Dark Storage. So now there are balloons in these clan castles, and if anything is going to kill a ground troop like a Valkyrie quicker than anything else, it's going to be a balloon. So in terms of whether or not baby dragons or things like that, look at that. I don't really have any Valkyries left. So this is the point of using this with these examples. Most of them are going to have balloons. Obviously there's things going on with Supercell and balloons or something at the moment when this is recorded. So yeah. So this is why there's balloons in the clan castle, and I thought it was a pretty good test to see if I can deal with the balloons as well as. Now I'll speed this up because it's gone to the slow part now. So I've got the Barb King pathing around, I've got a Wizard pathing around with Bowler and so on and so forth. The Queen's fine. Wizard on the right hand side took out the corner trash, and basically I'm using my Barb King, a lot of good health there, and to try and take out the things. Now my Queen's level 30 Queen. We have to take that into consideration. I had a level 30 King as well, or I still have. Now watch this Bowler. Watch him going for the wall here. So he's almost through the wall. Bowlers decide to change targets, and then change targets again. So it didn't really matter, but see the health on my Queen. Now that's very important to note. So look, we'll have a look at the next one. Now you saw the health of my Queen just then, almost down. So if she wasn't maxed, then she would have been down. So that's a very important thing to do. If you're going to be trying this attack, you saw my Queen was maxed, and if you're walking in with a level 25 Queen, your Queen wouldn't have made it and the attack wouldn't have gone successfully. Now it's the same base. This is the same base, but I'm approaching it differently. I'm not going to come in from that Queen side, and I do have the same troop combinations that I had before. So this time I'm coming in from this right hand side with my Queen. Now hopefully to try and get her to target or at least lock onto the incoming balloons. So for some reason she should be triggering the clan castle there. There we go. She's triggered the clan castle. Okay, so we can get rid of that radius now. That way my Valkyrie and my Bowlers are not going to be hindered by balloons. So Queen will take care of the balloons with the poison. No problem there. Valkyries come in, King back up. And now we here get to see what I really wanted to try and achieve in the first one. And that was once they crack through the first wall, this is when the rage comes in. So let them break through the wall themselves first time. And now I'm realizing that once they break through all these walls, they're going to path over slowly to the Queen. And that's where I'll put the next rage is over in the Queen area, because they will aggro onto the Queen a little bit. Have some wizards down. Now part of the key of this is trying to drop down a couple of wizards with the Valkyries and the Bowlers coming in. I'll just speed this up. And the reason being is that if you don't do that, and there was something in the clan castle that, like balloons, and you can't poison them, you've got to deal with it. And by having a couple of wizards jump into the fray with the Bowlers and the Valkyries at the start of the raid, that helps that procedure. Now I could have put a wizard down on the left-hand archer tower there while it was targeting the Valkyries, but I just didn't do it. I've still got the wizard up my sleeve now, and I'm not even. There we go. I do put him down as soon as the archer starts to lock onto something, but it's game over for the base. Now that's the Town Hall 9, and we'll move on to Town Hall 9.5 now. Now the biggest thing with this Town Hall 9.5 was deciding which way I wanted to come into the base. Did I want to try and move over to the Queen or whatever? And I'm looking at all those pumpkin walls in the middle, and I thought I've got to go at the Queen really early on. So I noticed that the clan castle was lurable, and again, with balloons in the clan castle, you saw how they devastated the previous attack. So I got rid of the baby dragon on this one. So we've lured the clan castle, and it triggered a Skelly spell, and I wasn't really that keen on that, but it triggered one anyway. So I've got the poison down. Skellies have entered the poison, balloons have entered the poison, and now I've dropped a wizard down. Now, only one Skelly survives. Have an eye on what this Skelly's doing here. And I'm like, come on, Wiz. The Skelly's almost down. I did have a minion. So by getting rid of the baby dragon. Now, the thing is also, I'm being very selective in where I deploy my bowlers. So what I want to do here is I want the bowlers to come south. Now, if I place them above that gold mine, which you'll see, there's always a chance they'll divert to the dark store. So I've placed them down below that, so they then will path on. And now here we go, all running into the core. King, now I should be dropping a couple of wizards behind. I'm a little bit slack on getting the wizzies in, but I'm not that desperate about that because I know that the clan castle has already been taken care of. So get the rage down so the Valkyries can get through the wall better. I did think they were going over towards that expo, but they obviously did not, and so that heal spell didn't get too many. So that was Valkyries over there in that corner will just gradually peter out to the cannon and the expo over there. So I've got my next heal down, and the Valkyries have been skirting around that area where the King's pad is. They go left, they go right, they come back again. Now my Queen has lost the healers. The healers have gone into the core to try and heal the Valkyries and now the bowlers up there. So my Queen is basically safe now, taking out the trash on the right hand side. I've still got a minion left to drop. I just dropped a wizard on the right hand side to try and help speed up all of that down there. Now I'm pretty confident here that at this point I'm pretty confident it will be a 3-star because I've got plenty of Valkyries on the outside, I've got bowlers on the inside, I've still got the healers up, and I've got the King, and neither my King nor my Queen have used their special ability yet. So we'll just speed this up from this point on so you can see how that all ended up panning out, and of course it was a 3-star attack. Now this again was a Town Hall 9.5, so it does have the extra capacity in the clan castle, but hasn't got all the full new weapons yet. So I'm saving my Queen's ability because I didn't want the weapons to not target the King. The King had a job to do at that point, so we'll move on to the next one. Now before we go into this one, I just want to point out my initial thinking. My little 30-second scout was if I can get rid of this and this, drop the Queen here, she'll path this way. Then if I can get rid of this and this, dropping the bowlers here, they will path that way, everybody in. That was my initial thinking in the 30-second scout. So, and of course the clan castle is lurable on this attack. So again, knowing that it's the same base, or not the same base, but the same clan member that I had previously, I decided to drop the hog there, and then I'll drop the wizard over the side there. So just get the balloons dealt with. So I'll just speed that up a little bit. Okay, so we'll drop the wizard on the right hand side. Queen's going to come down. One balloon survived somehow, so I will be dropping a minion on that, so do keep an eye on that. And that will save the wizard just a little bit, but not that much, but just a little bit. So minion goes down on that balloon, so that's good. So Queen walk going around, okay. So now we're going to try and watch the angle of the bowlers that I've done here. I do want them to path to the right hand side, and I want the Queen to go to the left. And then everybody's going to be coming in with the Valkyries. So I'll be dropping the King and the Valkyries as well, and then trying to follow that same procedure, that once they've cracked through that first wall, I really want to save the rage for inside the wall, not to help them get through the wall, if I can help it. So here they come, crack through the wall, and then I'll have the rage waiting for them. There we go, there's the rage, so they'll get through the second wall, aggro onto the Queen. Now at this point, I'll drop the hill to heal them back up because there's a lot of DPS in that area, all those Teslas. So again, once they get into that core, rage them again. Now everything's gone into the core, and I still have one wizard, a minion, and an archer up my sleeve. Now I could have dropped the archer already on, say, this left-hand builder's hut or whatever. So I've got the extra heal spell down. So left-hand barracks, not the builder's hut. So I dropped the wizard. Plenty of stuff in the core. They'll take out all those weapons from within that core, and now it's just a couple of whiz tails on the outside, and they're not going to be too much of an issue. So again, these is Town Hall 9.5 that you'd seen earlier. So now there is a version of this that you will have a look at next to see how it goes without a lure. I'll just crack straight into it. Now, of course, it's a similar style base. It's not identical. Just speed up this little process a little bit. I can see there's no thing inside, so we're just going to speed it up just to get through all this funneling stuff that you can see going on. And the couple of other attacks I want to show you after this just very quickly when we get into them are really important in terms of what I did with the funnel with the bowlers. Same sort of principle involved, but you'll see how that's worked out with weapons involved as well, trying to funnel and get the weapons in. So as you can see, almost identical to the previous attack. It's a slightly different base, but the principles are all being used the same in terms of getting the Valkyries in, how I'm funneling them to get them in. And the biggest trick, and again, the balloons are in the core, so I couldn't lure the balloons in this case. So I just had to rage heal as I could see where the Valkyries and everything are going, and they're very hard to track where they go. But you can see even those max walls for Town Hall 10 max walls didn't really stop the result, and that was a 3-star attack. And I've got a really good lot of troops left at the end of this as well. So let's have a look at the next one. Okay, here we go on the next one. Now, I'll just speed this up. Obviously, it's not a max base. It's got some max archers. It's got some not. But what's really important here is how I went about the funneling and the to get my Valkyries in. That's the important process. So you just notice how I took out that weapon, then I put the bowlers at that angle so that the double bounce damage would mean that they were not going to path to the outside. So if you're going to be doing this attack, that's the sort of thing to try and look for at the corners of the base, or how you want to start to path the bowlers in. Now you'll see my queen's going fine. She'll take out all that stuff there, and I've got plenty of Valkyries left. And as per usual, the base will fall. Obviously, it's not going to not fall. I've got a max heroes, and I'm basically attacking a base that's not max. But the important thing with these attacks is to have a look at how I'm funneling the queen on one side and what I'm doing with the bowlers on the other. So let's have a look at the last one. Okay, again, this is all over in 1 minute and 45, so we'll just have a quick look. I'll let this run normally for a moment. Now you can see what I've done here with the queen on the right hand side. So obviously you might be thinking, okay, now I've changed the troops again. I've gone to a baby dragon. So I've taken the baby dragon on the left, so that means I want to funnel to the right. Now watch the angle that I put the bowlers in, it's very important. I put them there so that the double bounce would take out the archer. So that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to say, that if you can find something like that within the base, that when you can get a little bit of a funnel going, then the bowlers come in and then they can do a bit of a double bounce if you're going to do these dual walk style attacks. And you don't need to bring wall breakers. I mean, you can bring wall breakers. You can bring a jump spell if you want to bring a jump spell, like swap out a base, swap out a spell for a jump spell instead if you think it's going to get deeper into the core. And again, there's no reason why you can't do that, but I figured that the raged Valkyries were getting through the walls pretty quickly. So as you can see here, the base is, again, it's not a max base, but the point that I wanted to point out or wanted to share or reveal is all about the funneling to make sure that you got the Valkyries and the bowlers into the base if you were going to be doing this sort of attack. And at less than 2 minutes, and obviously not a max base or anything like that, so it was always going to be fall. It was always going to fall. But yeah, just the funneling is the hardest part, and getting some, say, a couple of whizzies down with those Valkyries that come in. They're the hardest thing. So what I suggest is we'll come back and, just hold there. We'll go back to my troops. So these are the troops that I'm using again if you want to cook up that combination, if you've got someone that can donate. Now, again, do bear in mind I do have max heroes, so do plenty of friendly challenges in your clan. Now, it is a very tricky thing to get going with the bowlers, Valkyries, and a couple of whizzies to come in into the core. It's a very, very tricky thing to get going, so you do need a lot of practice so that it becomes second nature. Okay, so that's it for today's video. So the question is, how do you know, seeing as you use Valkyries, how do you know when a Valkyrie's been at your computer? Well, there's an axe embedded in your monitor. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for sticking around. Please leave the video a thumb up. Please let me know what you thought of the attacks, or if you've used this, or any tips you've got for using this attack. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.